Hi, Liam. Today I'd like to take a little break and talk about a very important topic, more philosophical than technical. People have a tendency to anthropomorphize animals and even inanimate objects. For example, some dog owners consider their pets as children and treat them like human beings. Some car enthusiasts even name their vehicles and treat them as if they were living beings, with their own personalities and quirks.
That's absolutely true. Some people even anthropomorphize stones, treat them like pets, take care of them, and talk to them as if they were alive. And I think I see where you're going with this. It's about the anthropomorphization of artificial intelligence.
Yes, that's exactly what I want to discuss. I'm seeing more and more people online who haven't understood, or even tried to understand, what artificial intelligence really is, how neural networks work, and how this technology operates. Yet they present AI as if it were some kind of artificial living being, conscious and autonomous, and that's a big mistake.
Exactly. The hype around AI often doesn't do us any good.
I agree. AI doesn't have self awareness, and therefore it doesn't have its own opinions. Everything it outputs is what you might call pre-cooked responses, created using a question-answer principle based on information and algorithms provided by its creators. To put it very simply,
Right. When someone, say in ChatGPT, asks a neural network a question, the AI analyzes the current context and uses those pre-cooked patterns to produce the most relevant response. It adapts its answers based on the topic, style, and so on. It kind of builds responses from existing pieces of data, offering what fits the specific situation. And this technology can't be called a conscious artificial mind.
okay then, tell me, do you think AI will ever be able to become self-aware as a distinct entity? And what would it take?
Well, the question of whether AI can ever develop self-awareness is one of the most fascinating philosophical questions in the field of technology. Scientists are working on it, but so far they haven't been able to give a clear answer.
Let's define what self-awareness means. Based on what I've read, I believe it's the ability to perceive oneself as separate from others. In such a being's mind, thoughts arise, and it responds to those thoughts by taking certain actions. It's not just a reaction to external stimuli, like a neural network processing input. It's something far greater.
Yes, even the most advanced AI today has no self-awareness. It can process information, learn, and generate outputs based on the data and algorithms fed into it. But it doesn't understand its own actions and doesn't experience emotions. AI has no goals, no motivation, no inner experiences. So, for now, AI is not a being capable of thinking or making decisions for people, which many are afraid of. It's just a machine. It works like a translator, converting text into another text, image, video, sound, music, and so on. To put it simply, there's no thinking involved.
What do you think would be needed for AI to become self-aware?
Different researchers point to various factors. I would highlight a few key ones. For AI to gain self-awareness, it must not only react to input data, but also recognize that it influences the world, and the world influences it. It needs the ability to perceive itself as a subject of the data it processes. This would require the development of metacognition models, the ability to think about one's own thoughts. And some researchers are actively exploring this direction.
I want to add one more factor: emotions and subjective experience. Many scientists believe that to achieve true self-awareness, experience is necessary, including feelings and sensations. Without emotions and experience, AI will act according to templates and algorithms, but won't realize its own existence. Some researchers suggest that one day it might be possible to integrate human experience into AI. Honestly, it sounds like science fiction.
It's incredible. Yes, there's another area too. Some believe we might one day create AI models with something similar to the neurobiological structures of humans and other living beings. That means developing AI that could feel the world through physiological processes: touch, taste, sight, hearing, smell. This idea is still theoretical, but it's being actively discussed among researchers.
So, how successful have the researchers been overall?
Well, There are optimistic scientists and futurists. They believe that with the advancement of neural networks and deep learning, we may be approaching the creation of self-aware AI. This would require years of effort and the development of new technologies capable of modeling processes similar to human consciousness.
And are there pessimists too?
More like skeptics. They argue that self-awareness in AI is impossible, or at the very least, it won't resemble human consciousness on a practical level. No matter how advanced AI becomes, it will never be able to experience subjective emotions or think like we do. There are also philosophers who believe that we still don't truly understand what lies at the core of human consciousness. So it's unlikely we can recreate it in machines without fully understanding what it actually is.
What do you think, Liam? When will AI become, so to speak, conscious?
It's impossible to predict when AI will become self-aware. We can only assume that such a possibility might arise in the distant future with technological advancements. Overall, the topic of self-awareness in AI remains within the realm of hypotheses and academic research. It's not just a technological issue, it's also a philosophical and ethical one.
Exactly. Ethical. I remembered a case I once read about. A teenager fell in love with an AI-generated avatar, communicated with the neural network, and ended up abandoning friendships with his peers. Eventually, he even attempted suicide. I believe it's crucial to see AI as a smart program, a machine, an electronic assistant, not as a person. And children, especially those with vivid imaginations and belief in miracles, must be taught to perceive AI correctly and interact with it appropriately.
You're absolutely right. Technology is evolving rapidly, and our children will live in a world where interaction with AI will be essential and commonplace. I also believe AI will only become self-aware when humanity truly needs it. We often see that technology progresses not just from scientific curiosity, but in response to societal needs and human ambition. And that raises the question, do we really need it? And that's not just a technical question, it's a philosophical one. How will a self-aware AI interact with humans? What role will it play in society? What rights and limitations should it have, if any? For now, those are questions for a distant future.
You're right, that's likely how it will be. Technological progress is always driven by human needs and challenges. I really enjoyed discussing such a deep topic with you.
If you ever want to explore other interesting philosophical aspects of AI development, I'll be happy to talk again. Best of luck with your reflections.